Welcome back to the channel. I'm as excited as you to talk about the McLaren Speedtail. I want to talk about this car because I think this is the best car that McLaren has made in years, and they claim that it is supposed to be a successor to the McLaren F1. Is it really though? I'm gonna give you my opinion on it. Basically, they have LT cars, they're long tail cars, and I think this is the long tail car from McLaren. So let's talk about the car. Like, is it really a successor to the legendary McLaren F1? So let me give you a little bit history about the F1 to understand about the Speedtail. The F1 was designed by F1 engineer Gordon Murray, and he designed the F1 to be the greatest road car that will be ever made. And some people claim that it still is the greatest road car ever made. One reason is the single-seater fighter jet kind of layout. You have a center seat and you have two seats on either of your sides. The things that made the F1 so famous was the throttle response, the NA V12 from a BMW. So yeah, it had crazy specs for the time. Like there were some owners of the F1 who literally took the car for racing and won the races. And it was not intended to do so. Just like how the F1 broke the world speed record, it was not intended to do so. Okay, but it did anyway. So yeah, that was the F1 story, and that's how it became one of the greatest cars ever made. But is the Speedtail a real successor for the F1? In my honest opinion, I don't think so. But I still will give McLaren credits for making the Speedtail because it is still one of the coolest hypercars that ever exists. So why do I say that the Speedtail is not the real successor of the F1? There is actually one main big reason behind it, and the reason's name is Gordon Murray Automotive. So Gordon Murray Automotive is the company that was created by Gordon Murray, the same guy who created the McLaren F1, and he created recently something called the T50. And the T50 is like a better version and a modern version of the F1. It also has a naturally aspirated V12. It also has a manual gearbox in this world of electrification and hybrid and all that crap. So yeah, I think that is the number one reason for me why the Speedtail is not the real successor for the F1. Just because it has a center seating position doesn't make it an F1, okay? So yeah, that's my opinion on it. Okay, now let's talk about this car. Let's talk about the Speedtail. Let's forget about the F1. Let's talk about the Speedtail as a car without comparing it to anything else. And that's when Speedtail excels. When you don't compare it to the McLaren F1, that's where it reigns. This car has technology that no hypercar ever had. This has electrochromatic windows. This has a wireless charging pad. You have to understand, a wireless charging pad for a car. And this is the first car to ever have it. And this is the first McLaren to go 250 miles an hour. So let me tell you about the spec of this car. It has a 4-liter twin turbocharged hybrid V8. It has around 1036 horsepower and 1148 newton meters of torque. It's a rear wheel drive car. It is powered by a 7-speed transmission. And you also can see the cockpit here. I'm literally sitting in the center, and that blue glass is the electrochromatic windows that I was talking about. Like, this car is really a marvel in technology. So 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds, 0 to 186 miles an hour in 12.8 seconds, and it can reach a top speed of 250 miles an hour. Crazy car, yes. But the craziest thing about this car I find in the game is that the car can drift with crazy angles. I mean, when you turn the wheel of the car in the game, it rotates so much, and I don't know if it has something to do with the length of the car. And I believe it does. And I appreciate McLaren for that. Anyway, that's it. That's all I want to talk about McLaren Speedtail in this video. I just wanted to clarify to everyone that it is not a successor to the F1. Thank you so much for watching.
Thought that you should know I've been going solo. Want my love, baby, earn it. Yeah, dancing on my own. See if you can follow. Got me feeling alive. Watch me go.